and welcome back to Pronunciation with Emma, or welcome if you're brand new to my channel. In today's video, we're going to go through 50 of some of the most common British idioms and expressions. We will talk about the idioms and expressions, we'll talk about what they mean, and then we'll go through some examples together. And the final 2 idioms are ones from Yorkshire, where I'm from. So I thought I'd include that a little bit, just because I used to hear my mum say them a lot. So they are embedded deep in my brain from my childhood, and I thought they'd be quite fun to share with you guys. Now, before we get started, for the longest time, you guys have been asking me for group pronunciation classes. So I've teamed up with Preply to create the British English pronunciation course with small group classes for you all. Now, when I mentioned this course on Instagram, it sold out like that. It sold out so quickly. So if some spaces have freed up, which could be possible, you can go and check that out by using the link in the description. If there are no free spaces, then please don't worry. There are other courses available by some fantastic English teachers from around the world to help you practice your speaking skills. And don't worry, I'm planning to do courses like this in the future, so if you can't get on one now, then perhaps next time you'll be able to get on. Fingers crossed. You just need to be a bit faster. If you're more interested in one-to-one lessons with me or any other teacher, I also do them on Preply, and I highly recommend the platform, so you can go and check out the link there, and you can get 50% off your first lesson on Preply by using the code Emma. Just use the filter option on the website or app to find your perfect teacher, and you can do different activities outside the lessons and also check your progress. All the links are down in the description for the one-to-one classes and also the group classes as well, so go and check those out. And for your first private lesson, remember to use that code for 50% off your first lesson. Thank you so much, Preply, for sponsoring this part of the video. Now let's go talk about some idioms. So the first idiom is a stone's throw away, and this means a short distance away. The library is just a stone's throw away from the museum. The library is really close to the museum. The next is don't give up your day job. Don't give up your day job. This is something that you can use alone. You don't need to use it in a sentence. And it basically means that you don't like something that someone's doing. Usually if they're singing or if they're drawing or painting, but they're doing it really, really badly. And you say to them, don't give up your day job. It's like saying, don't quit your job to do that because you're really bad at that. For example, what do you think of my singing? Don't give up your day job. Cost an arm and a leg. This means something is really, really expensive. This new phone cost me an arm and a leg. It was expensive. A blessing in disguise. This one's a nice one. We use this one quite a bit. And it's usually when you think something bad has happened, but actually it turns out to be quite good. Getting fired from my last job was a blessing in disguise because I've just landed my dream job. So you think, I got fired, that's bad. But actually, it's a good thing because it means that you found your perfect job. So something good happened in the end. The ball is in someone's court. The ball's in your court. This means that someone needs to make a decision, usually the person you're talking to. The ball's in your court. It's now your turn. You need to make a decision in order for something to progress. I think it's your turn to decide now. The ball's in your court. You need to decide. Pull one's leg. I'm just pulling your leg. This means I'm just joking with you. Don't take me seriously. I was just pulling your leg when I said that. I was just joking when I said that. This one's a funny one, but it could be a bit mean. And it's one sandwich short of a picnic. This means that someone is not very smart, okay? They're not very smart, they're not very clever. My brother's one sandwich short of a picnic. My brother's not very smart. A similar expression to this one is to not be the sharpest tool in the shed. So I could say, my brother's not the sharpest tool in the shed. Means he is not the smartest person. He is not very smart. Hit the nail on the head. This means when you get the answer correct, or when you get something exact, like the point is exactly correct. Yes, exactly. You've hit the nail on the head. Yes, exactly. You got it correct. To beat around the bush or to beat about the bush. It doesn't matter which one you use, they are both the same, okay? They have the same meaning. And this means when you have a serious topic and the person that you're talking to is trying to avoid talking about that topic, okay? And you can say to them, "Oh, can you get to the point? Can you stop beating around the bush? Or can you stop beating about the bush?" It's like, get to the point. And we use this for things that are quite serious. I see a lot of people misusing this expression, but do be careful because we use it for things that are more serious. Like the issue has to be serious that the person's avoiding. Can you please just stop beating about the bush and get to the point? Can you please just stop talking about absolutely nothing and get to the point of what you want to say? Speak of the devil. We use this expression completely on its own. And we use this when we're talking about someone and then that person appears and you say, "Speak of the devil, John's here." And it means we were just talking about John and he's arrived. For example, "Have you heard about what happened to John at the Christmas party?" "Oh, speak of the devil, John's here now." The next one is to add fuel to the fire, and this means to make a situation worse than it already is. So maybe you're having an argument or a situation is really bad and you say something or do something that makes that situation or argument worse. The extra restrictions that they put in place only added fuel to the fire. They only made it worse. Don't judge a book by its cover. Now this one's a really, really famous one. Many of you probably already know this one. But essentially it means don't judge something or someone just by the first appearance. Make sure you get to know them first. Don't judge a book by its cover. Don't judge by appearances. For example, "This film looks terrible." Well, it could be good. Don't judge a book by its cover. Give someone a taste of their own medicine. This is a good one when someone has been really horrible to you and then you do something horrible back to them that upsets them. So they're horrible to you, you're upset, then you do something horrible back to them and then they're upset. You give them a taste of their own medicine. I decided to give them a taste of their own medicine. Give someone an inch and they'll take a mile. I use this one a lot. And I had to try and condense the definition down. So I've written a really nice condensed definition here. When you give someone a small amount of power or freedom to do something, and then later they try to get more, or you help someone a little bit, and then they get greedy and want you to do more things for them. So it's when someone gets a little bit of power and they want more, or a little bit of freedom and they want more, or you help someone a little bit and then they try to take advantage and make you do more things. For example, "I'm never helping Sarah again." You give her an inch and she takes a mile. I helped her, but she's trying to be greedy here and get more help. To add insult to injury. This one's quite similar to add fuel to the fire, because we use it when situations are bad, but you do something to make them worse. So something already has to be bad, like you maybe have to do something bad, and then you do something even worse on top of that to make it double bad. This is to add insult to injury. For example, "They stole her phone," and to add insult to injury, they also hacked her social media accounts. So stealing the phone was bad, but they also hacked her social media accounts. So it's two bad things on top of each other. To be all ears. This means when you are eagerly waiting to listen to someone. Tell me all about it. I'm all ears. Tell me all about it. I'm listening. Tell me everything. I'm listening. To be caught or stuck between a rock and a hard place. This means when you're stuck in a situation where it's really, really difficult to make a decision. Usually it's because there's no good outcome here. You've either got this decision which is going to be bad or this decision which is going to be bad. So you're stuck between a rock and a hard place. It's hard to make the decision because there's no good outcome here. There's no good decision to make. I can't decide what to do. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place here. Bite the bullet. This is one I use all the time, and it means to do something that you don't really want to do. For example, I don't really want to do it, but I'll just have to bite the bullet. I don't really want to do it, but I'm just gonna do it anyway, even if I don't like it. Now this next one is very, very typical British. Don't get your knickers in a twist. And this means don't get upset about something that's very, very small. So don't ever use this idiom with someone who's going through a real bad time and they're having like a real bad crisis. Never ever use this. But use this in like a very humorous way about something that's very, very small. For example, calm down, don't get your knickers in a twist. It's like, calm down, don't get angry. It's just a small thing. By the skin of one's teeth. This one means to only just succeed at doing something. And we tend to use this when someone maybe survives something very, very risky, but they only just survive. Or we use it a lot in races. When two people are racing, they're very, very close, but one person only just wins. And you can say, oh, they won by the skin of their teeth. So they only just won. It was so close. For example, she won the race, but only by the skin of her teeth. She won the race, but only just. To call a spade a spade. I feel like this expression is quite northern, at least it's used a lot in the north, but I do know it's used all across the UK. I think it's just northerners are more straight talking. But essentially it means to talk in a very direct way without really caring about offending the other person or embarrassing the other person or embarrassing yourself. So you talk very, very directly. For example, my mum will call a spade a spade. She just says things as they are. My mum is very direct and she will say things as they are. To cut corners. This is when you do something in the fastest, cheapest, or most effective way, usually because you want to save time or to save money. It doesn't have the best connotations. Usually it equals low effort, low quality, or bad quality, or something. So if you say that a company has cut corners, it tends to have more negative connotations. For example, the company cut corners in order to save money. So maybe they fired some staff, maybe they reduced their budget for the materials, so the materials and products are not as good. It doesn't have good connotations, does this? But it's a really, really common idiom. This one I think is probably my favourite idiom. One can dish it out, but one cannot take it. I've never used it in a form like that, but we would usually say it like, you can dish it out, but you can't take it. And it means when someone can be horrible to other people and do bad things to other people, but they can't handle it when they receive something bad. So they can't handle it. They don't like it when people are horrible back to them. For example, Jenny is so mean to other people, but she can't handle it when others are mean back to her. She can dish it out, but she can't take it. Meaning, she's happy to be horrible to other people, but she doesn't like it and she gets upset when people are horrible to her. Not my cup of tea. This one's very British sounding. Not my cup of tea. It basically means I'm not interested in that. I don't really like that. Football isn't really my cup of tea. Now this one I used to use quite a lot. On your bike. On your bike. It's like, get lost, go away. For example, can I borrow your phone? On your bike? The last time I lent you my phone, you dropped it and smashed the screen. Call it a day. This is something you say when you've agreed to stop doing something, usually when you've been working on it for a long period of time or you feel you've done enough work. Then you can say, let's call it a day. Let's stop here for now. For example, I've been working on this project all day. I think I'll call it a day. I think I'll stop for now. Until tomorrow. Under the weather. This is when you feel a little bit ill. For example, I feel a bit under the weather today. I feel a bit sick, a bit poorly. You can say that again. Now this expression you can use completely on its own as a response when someone says something that you fully agree with. So they say something you agree with and you go, yeah, you can say that again. For example, it's so hot today. Yeah, you can say that again. Like, yeah, I agree, I know. To burn bridges. This is when you do something so you can't go back to how a previous situation was. Usually you do something bad so you can't go back to a previous situation or a previous place or a previous relationship. I know you're leaving your job next week, but Don't burn bridges. Be nice to your colleagues. Don't be horrible to your colleagues, because you never know, you might need to go back there. Get wind of something. This means when you suspect something or you hear a rumour about something. I got wind that my manager is leaving soon. I heard a rumour that my manager is leaving soon. Full of beans. If you're full of beans, it means that you are lively and energetic. For example, you're full of beans this morning. You're really lively and energetic this morning. Off one's rocker. She's off her rocker. She's crazy. For example, don't talk to her. She's off her rocker. Notice how I'm using this gesture as well. We use this gesture to mean they're crazy. They don't even have to say anything. An English person can just look and go, or, and it means they're off the rocker, they're crazy. Jump on the bandwagon. This is when a trend is happening and you decide to jump on that trend and follow that trend. So a lot of people are doing something, they're following a trend, and you decide to join. I've seen that flares are coming back into fashion, so I've decided to jump on the bandwagon and buy myself a pair. You live and learn. You can use this expression completely by itself when you've learned something new, or when you've made a mistake and you want to say, I have learnt from this mistake. So maybe you do something bad and you say, well, you live and learn. For example, I washed all my jumpers in the washing machine, but when I took them out, they'd all shrunk. I didn't know I had to hand wash them. Well, you live and learn. To have butterflies in one's stomach. So have you ever felt really, really nervous or maybe even really, really excited? And that feeling you get in your belly, that feeling in your belly, we call those butterflies. We say, I've got butterflies. And it can mean either you're very nervous or you're very excited. We just go by the context to know which one you mean. For example, if you have an exam tomorrow and you say, I've got butterflies, we're going to assume that you're nervous. But let's imagine it's a party that's happening tomorrow, you've got a birthday party planned, and you say, I've got butterflies, then it probably means you're excited. So we go by context to know whether you're nervous or excited with this one. For example, I can't wait to go. I've got butterflies in my stomach. Like, I'm really excited. Go the extra mile. This is when you make a special effort to achieve something. John is a great employee. He really goes the extra mile. He really puts in a lot of effort. More effort than the other people. Do something by the book. This means to follow the rules exactly. Jane always does things by the book. Jane always follows the rules. One's hands are tied. My hands are tied. It means when someone cannot act freely and do something freely, either because of a rule, the law, or they don't have time to do it. I'd love to help you, but sadly my hands are tied. I'm really busy and I can't do it. Be in the same boat. This is when many people, or a group of people, are in the same difficult situation. For example, I'm really struggling with money this month, but I think a lot of people are in the same boat. I think a lot of people are in the same difficult situation as me. To go behind someone's back. This is a bit of an evil one, but if I say, for example, to go behind Jane's back, it means that I do something without Jane knowing, usually because she will either be upset or she doesn't want me to do that thing. For example, in a sentence, I can't believe she went behind her friend's back like that and betrayed her. To get the wrong end of the stick. This means to completely misunderstand a situation. Emily saw me with her boyfriend and completely got the wrong end of the stick. She completely misunderstood the situation and thought that something else was happening, but it wasn't that. Be on the same wavelength. This is when two, or maybe more, people agree on something because they have similar opinions or interests. For example, I enjoy working with him because we're always on the same wavelength. I enjoy working with him because we always agree on things. Put something on the back burner. This is when you have something to deal with or something to do, but you postpone it so you'll deal with it later. For example, I'll put the report on the back burner for now because I've got some other things to do. I'll do that report later because I've got some other things to do now. Keep your chin up This means to stay cheerful, stay hopeful during a difficult time. Now, don't use this in times that are very, very hard or very difficult. Let's say someone's relative dies or something. You wouldn't say, keep your chin up, your grandma's died, but you've got another one. You would just never say that. So make sure you use it in context where it's just a little difficult situation, not a big, horrible situation. Let's imagine this situation. Your best friend has just taken an exam. It didn't go very well. So you can say to them, keep your chin up. You can always take the exam again next month. It's like saying, stay positive, stay hopeful. To bite off more than you can chew. This is to commit to something that you can't do. Maybe it's too difficult for you or you just don't have the time. I'm so stressed out at work. I think I definitely bit off more than I can chew when I took on this new job. I think I definitely took on some responsibilities that I can't handle. Maybe I'm not skilled enough for this job. To have kittens. My mum used to use this one all the time, and it means to become extremely anxious, extremely angry, or extremely upset about something. For example, mum's gonna have kittens when she finds out what you've done. She's gonna either get really angry or upset. You go by context. This one's very British. That's not on. And this means that's not acceptable. Stealing from vulnerable people just isn't on. It's not acceptable. Now this one I really like as well. Keep your wig on. And we say this to mean calm down. Usually when someone is really, really angry or really upset or something, and you want to sound a bit funny, you want to joke, and you can say, keep your wig on. It's like, calm down. For example, all right, just wait, keep your wig on. It's like, all right, just wait, calm down. So we use this in a humorous way. Don't ever use this for a very serious situation when you want to tell someone to calm down. Now we're on to the final two idioms, and as I said, these ones are Yorkshire idioms. Number 49 is put wood and all. Now, in Yorkshire, the word the kind of disappears. We just use a glottal stop. So, to put the wood in the hole would be standard English, but in the north, because we don't say the, we say put wood in all. Now, hole, you'll notice that the H is missing, and that's because in many parts of Yorkshire, we don't pronounce that first H in words. So, hole becomes all or all. Put wood in all, close the door, it means. For example, put wood in all, would you? Close the door, would you? And the last one is, were you born in a barn? Now my mum would always say this one to me. I would leave doors open, leave windows open, and my mum would say, were you born in a barn? So it's like saying, you've left the window open or you've left the door open. And usually it's like an external door or something like the front door, but it can also be a door in your house. So maybe you've got an office door that's usually closed, and you maybe want to say to someone like, were you born in a barn? You've left the door open. So in a sentence, were you born in a barn? Shut door, it's freezing. So shut the door, again in Yorkshire, the just vanishes. So shut door, shut the door. Shut door, it's freezing. Shut the door, it's freezing. Now I'd like you to tell me which of these idioms is your favourite and why. Tell me in the comments your favourite idiom and why it's your favourite. Now remember, if you're interested in group lessons, the link is in the description, and if you're interested in private one-to-one lessons with me or any other teacher on Preply, the link is also in the description. And remember to use the code Emma to get 50% off your first lesson. Thank you very much for watching this video. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I will see you next lesson. Bye bye!